Dinosaurs ruled the earth for over 165 million years. There were many theropods throughout the Mesozoic era that were extremely formidable. We've picked 72 that dominate the others. In this show, we will talk about these dangerous animals, including when they lived, what they ate, their weaponry, and how humans would fare if these creatures were still alive. From the tyrant lizard king, to the lord of the lizard eaters, to the meat-eating bull, this is 72 Dangerous Animals Prehistory. Suchomimus grew over 40 feet long and weighed up to 11,600 pounds. It lived 125 to 112 million years ago in West Africa. Suchomimus is what I like to refer to as a specialized generalist. It was a super predator that was capable of killing nearly every animal it shared its habitat with. It would have fed on dinosaurs, such as abelisaurs, carcharodontosaurs, iguanodontians, and small sauropods, as well as pterosaurs, crocodilomorphs such as Sucus, sharks and other fish, and turtles. Suchomimus' holotype specimen would have measured around 36 feet long. However, it was immature, meaning that it would have reached lengths greater than 40 feet when fully grown. It had a relatively slim build and was much lighter than other dinosaurs of a similar size. Suchomimus had 122 backwards curving serrated teeth, unusual for a spinosaurid, within its 5-foot-long skull. Serrated teeth mean that it would have been adapted for killing and slicing at large prey with its teeth. Other spinosaurs didn't have serrated teeth, which prevented them from using their teeth to kill large prey. Suchomimus had extremely powerfully built arms equipped with massive curved claws. Its arms were more powerful than any other animal's. Its thumb claw was nearly 2 feet long and sickle-shaped like a dromaeosaur's. It would have grabbed its dinosaurian prey by the throat with its jaws to hold it still, then use its massive claws to slice its arteries open so that its prey would quickly bleed to death. It could also rip chunks out of its prey using its jaws. Its bite force was over 16,000 newtons. There were very few carnivorous dinosaurs that Suchomimus couldn't beat in a fight, namely Spinosaurus, due to its larger size. Any theropod smaller than Suchomimus stood absolutely no chance in a 1v1. Suchomimus was also probably able to take out a 40-foot Tyrannosaurus rex. It was much faster, running at nearly 24 miles per hour, and just needed to deliver several slashes with its claws to make Tyrannosaurus bleed to death. A sliced throat would easily finish it off. Suchomimus would be very destructive to humans. This absolute monster could slice you in two, or rip you apart with its muscular arms, or take you out with a bite from its large jaws. It could also step on you and crush you with its massive weight. Suchomimus slashes its way into first place. Incoming, a massive megalosaur. Torvosaurus grew from 36 to 39 feet long and weighed up to 11,000 pounds. It lived 165 to 148 million years ago in North America, South America, Africa, and Europe. Torvosaurus was a large megalosaurid with very powerful arms. It was Europe's largest terrestrial carnivore during the late Jurassic period. Eggs from Torvosaurus with and without embryos have been discovered. Torvosaurus' eggs were buried deep in the sand and were incubated much like modern sea turtles. Torvosaurus fed on Camptosaurus, Stegosaurus, and juvenile sauropods. It competed with Allosaurus, Saurophaganax, and Ceratosaurus for food. Torvosaurus could run at speeds of up to 20 miles per hour. It could easily end a human with its killer bite. Torvosaurus is nowhere near strong enough to overcome Suchomimus. It takes second. Up next, a large tyrannosaur. Albertosaurus grew from 30 to 33 feet long and weighed up to 5,500 pounds. It lived 71 to 68 million years ago in North America.
Albertosaurus was much smaller than its relative Tyrannosaurus rex, at only 30 feet long. The largest individual discovered was 33 feet long, however. Albertosaurus lived in family groups. A group of 26 individuals from ages 2 to 28 were unearthed in Alberta, Canada, meaning that this was likely a pack. The next largest carnivorous theropod in the area after Albertosaurus was less than 6 feet long. Albertosaurus moved at speeds of up to 13 miles per hour, and it is hypothesized that the younger, faster Albertosaurus would chase prey towards the older, stronger members of the pack so that it could take them out. It preyed on hadrosaurs, ceratopsians, and ornithomimids. Albertosaurus had a skull that was 3.3 feet long and a bite force of over 3,400 newtons. It had 58 large teeth in its mouth. It had bony crests above its eyes that are likely used to help attract mates. Albertosaurus was thinner than other tyrannosaurs and had longer legs. And while slower than most other carnivorous dinosaurs, Albertosaurus could still catch a human and kill them with its banana-shaped teeth.
Albertosaurus isn't as strong as our other two beasts. It takes third. Here comes another large tyrannosaur. Gorgosaurus grew up to 30 feet long and weighed up to 6,600 pounds. It lived 76.6 to 75.1 million years ago in North America.
Gorgosaurus and Albertosaurus are nearly identical. The only differences are in their skulls and teeth. This has resulted in it being considered a species of Albertosaurus by some, and this makes total sense, to be honest. Dinosaurs are referred to by their genus rather than species. Lions, tigers, leopards, snow leopards, and jaguars are all in the same genus. Saying that Gorgosaurus and Albertosaurus are in different genera is essentially saying that lions and jaguars are different genera. To make this more understandable, domestic cats and lions are in different but related genera. They vary quite a lot in features, such as size, skull shape, and characteristics, such as lions not being able to meow and cats not being able to roar. Additionally, keep in mind that every breed of dog is the same species, and dogs, dingoes, and all species of wolves are actually just one species, the gray wolf. There is huge variation in just that one species, and yet they're all the same thing. Gorgosaurus and Albertosaurus are so similar in structure that there is essentially no way they should be classified as different genera. And since nobody cares about dinosaur species, only the genera, that means Gorgosaurus and Albertosaurus would be the same animal to the general public. Gorgosaurus was a large tyrannosaur with massive teeth in its mouth, where I would hope they would be, and like other tyrannosaurs, it had 2 short fingers on its arms. Gorgosaurus coexisted with Daspletosaurus, another large tyrannosaur, in part of its range. They ate different prey species, resulting in them not competing over food. Gorgosaurus fed on ceratopsians and hadrosaurs. Skin impressions from Gorgosaurus revealed that it had very small scales. It had horns over its eyes, and Gorgosaurus had a bite force around 14,000 newtons. For comparison, the record human bite force is only 1,317 newtons. Additionally, Gorgosaurus was a fast runner, reaching speeds of 25 to 30 miles per hour. It could run down a human and finish them off quickly with one bite from its powerful jaws.
Gorgosaurus didn't hunt in packs like Albertosaurus. This results in it taking fourth. Up next, the frozen crested lizard. Cryolophosaurus grew up to 26 feet long and weighed up to 1,720 pounds. It lived 186 to 182 million years ago in Antarctica.
Cryolophosaurus is believed to be a neotheropod, along with dinosaurs such as Dilophosaurus and Liliensternus. It had a crest on the top of its head that was most likely used for intraspecies recognition. This pompadour-shaped crest gave it the nickname Elvisaurus. Cryolophosaurus likely lived in groups. It was the largest carnivorous dinosaur in its habitat and was the apex predator in its ecosystem. It fed on smaller dinosaurs, including sauropods such as Glaciolosaurus. Cryolophosaurus had no predators. And while Cryolophosaurus lived in Antarctica, at the time it was covered in forests and the temperature rarely dropped below freezing. Cryolophosaurus could use its teeth to take out a human by snagging them by the head or neck.
Cryolophosaurus takes 5th place. Incoming, a medium-sized abelisaur. Majungasaurus grew from 23 to 26 feet long and weighed up to 2,430 pounds. It lived 70 to 66 million years ago in Madagascar.
Majungasaurus had very short arms and powerful stocky legs. It couldn't run as fast as other medium-sized theropods, but it made up for it in its killing power. It was a slow grower and took up to 20 years to reach maturity. Its snout was short and its skull was wider than other abelisaurs. It had a rounded horn on the top of its skull. This resulted in it being originally mistaken for a pachycephalosaur. It had lungs and air sacs resembling those of birds. Majungasaurus was the apex predator in its ecosystem and preyed mostly on sauropods. There is direct evidence of Majungasaurus cannibalizing each other. Majungasaurus is the only dinosaur confirmed to be cannibalistic, as others, such as Cryolophosaurus, have been disproven. Its teeth were serrated on both the front and backside. This means it could easily tear chunks from its prey. Majungasaurus was adapted for grabbing its prey by the throat to subdue it and holding on until the prey was dead, much like modern cats. Its neck was very sturdy and would have been very useful in holding its head in place while biting. Its lower jaw had high flexibility that was similar, but not quite to the extent of snakes. This would prevent its jaw from being broken while holding on to struggling prey. Majungasaurus could reach speeds of 15 miles per hour maximum. This is much slower than other theropods, but still faster than its sauropod prey. Majungasaurus could easily take out a human by crushing their skull or slicing their throat open with its teeth.
Majungasaurus can't compete with our other carnivores. It slides in the last place. Sucus finishes in first and moves on to our finalists. Next episode on 72 Dangerous Animals Prehistory, the double-crested lizard, the road hunter, and the moderately spined lizard. Scientists have studied the nasal and throat structure of the Tyrannosaurus rex, and as it turns out, it was completely incapable of vocalizing a roar like those seen in movies. Rather, they would have made deep growling noises similar to alligators. In each episode, we will rank the creatures from 1 to 6 on a scale of how potentially dangerous these creatures would be to humans, and the winner of each episode will showdown with the other 11 finalists in the season finale to decide on which prehistoric creature was the ultimate human killing machine.